What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the second installment of Behind Crankworx podcast. Today is a bit more of a chill day. We've got downhill practice pretty much going on all day, and then in the evening we've got speed and style finals. As usual, this episode is supported by saxunderwear.com, and if you're not rocking a pair of Sax in this sort of heat, then I feel sorry for you. These things have been a lifesaver today, keeping the crown jewels funky fresh. Okay, let's not hold these things up. Without further ado, we're going to hand over to our very first guest of the day, Miss Vaea Verbeeck. Okay, we're here with the first guest of the day. You're going to have to help with the pronunciation. Sorry. Vaea Verbeeck.
Verbeeck, yeah.
Okay, cool. Where's the name from?
Vaea is from Tahiti, French Polynesia.
Okay.
I was born there.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if many people know that, but my parents lived there for a couple of years, and my dad is Belgian, so Verbeeck is Belgian.
Right.
But I grew up in Quebec and live in Vancouver.
Okay, wow. Okay, so you speak perfect French?
I do, yeah.
That's helpful.
Perfect French. Some people might say it's not real French, but hey.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. All right, so coming into Leger, you've had a pretty good season so far. Obviously, you won Rotorua, downhill. Yeah. Second in the ADH.
Damn. Did you
Seventh
work?
Yeah, you got it. Seventh in Innsbruck. Innsbruck.
Yeah. There was an enduro in Rotorua as well, and then there was a crash, which ended it for me.
Oh, wait, what, in the enduro?
No, like in Rotorua I started with the enduro, then it was DH,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other events. I forget now, like air DH, I guess. And then in the last downhill, in practice, I broke my collarbone, so it ended it for me there.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
yeah.
How's the recovery from that been going?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the very first time. I've had a lot of recoveries to do, a lot of injuries in my time, but for the first time it wasn't stressing. It wasn't like so upsetting. I wasn't gonna be like, oh, I'm missing the first World Cup and I have to get back into it really fast. I wasn't planning on attending the first World Cup.
Right.
Or I'm only attending one World Cup this year anyway, so it just seemed a lot more relaxed and just, yeah, it was sweet. And then I got back on the bike like much later than what I usually would have done, but it felt so much stronger right away.
Really?
And so yeah, it's been good.
Sometimes a break is as good as, not a break like a collarbone break, but a break from riding is nice, right?
Yeah.
Just, recharge the batteries a little bit.
The first time I just kind of understood that I had to embrace the fact that I was off the bike, and I did, instead of just being so bummed of not being racing. So.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You're sitting in third overall?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think I'm still in there.
I think so too. Yeah, actually, what events have you done so far this week?
In Leger?
Yeah.
The first event was dual slalom, which, I don't know, that was Wednesday night, and then it got way too dark, and there was way too many people participating, so our finals is going to be moved to Saturday night. But I think I qualified 5th, top 5.
Cool.
That's sweet.
That's
and
sweet,
then yesterday was a huge day. I was on my bike at 8 a.m. for pump track practice, and then rode downhill for 4 hours, and then went to the whip off and ran back up because I was trying to like better my whip and just get a better score. And right after pump track, swapped bikes back on the pump track for finals.
Wow.
And then 4th on that.
4th. Okay, the results aren't published yet, you see, so I didn't know where you finished.
4th at pump track.
And I was sat here trying to get episode 1 out in time because, long story, the Wi-Fi stops here at 11:30 and I don't have any Wi-Fi in my hotel.
Thank you, you're up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I got back to the hotel like the day before yesterday. I'm like, right, I'll do some work, get some stuff sorted.
Aww.
No Wi-Fi. So yeah, I've been running around like I said, like a goat up and down this hill, coming back here, doing stuff. But
yeah, didn't have
really?
Wi-Fi until 10 to 10 this morning.
No?
Yeah, I just came here and.
First world problems, eh? It sucks.
Really though, we got jobs.
I know. So coming into this, obviously this week, you've obviously got a few events out of the way already. But what are you looking forward to the most? Like, what's your?
Honestly, I'm not sure anymore. Like I come from a downhill racing background, but it's been funny the last week and here in Leger, like I'm realizing that I'm actually getting top 3, top 5s in events like pump track and slalom, which I have zero experience in. Like I've done pump track maybe a couple of times and rode off my very first ever slalom, and it was basically a straight pump track. It was so flat. But yeah, so I'm discovering the little bikes and getting better at them, which is kind of cool. Like it's like when you start a sport and you get better at it. It's pretty sweet. So I need to work on that. While for downhill, it's like literally World Cup level here this week. So, and then not to blame the collarbone, but I have been cautious. Like 7th in Innsbruck is not something I'm super happy with. You know, I want to be up there, but I think I'm just on the brakes a bit more than I am in practice. So try to work on that this week. But I don't know if I'm the most like looking forward the most to downhill. I'm so tired already. My body's like, no. There's 2 more downhills, Saturday and Sunday, and then slalom Saturday night. So I'm kind of looking forward to maybe do well at slalom. I don't know. It's more exciting than, but yeah.
The schedule is stacked. Like
it's stacked.
I had no idea. Like this is my first Crankworx, first time in Leger, and I had no idea like how hectic the schedule was for athletes. Like,
I mean, you don't have to do it to yourself.
No, but
I think it's the first time I'm actually signing up for all of the event I could possibly do. So I can't do slopestyle or speed and style, thank God. And then the rest of it I've signed up for.
You'd be doing it.
Usually I'll drop out of a couple events. I'll be like, okay, I'm too tired. I'm not going to do pump track or like, you know, things like that. But as so far so good. Like I've done them all. But yeah, it's a long day.
It is. It's hectic. What are your tips for keeping like, I don't know, energized and focused and all that sort of stuff as the week goes on?
Well, stay hydrated is huge. It's been hot the last few days. It's cooler today, which is cool. But yeah, stay hydrated, eat good food, and sleep. Sleep is huge. I've only learned recently in a podcast, actually.
Really?
That it was just I just didn't know how much sleep can do for you and your body, and it makes sense. It's obvious, but I just didn't know how much of a recovery process it took you.
Totally agree.
So I had a good night's sleep last night. And
I've taken to doing naps in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, again, listen to it on a podcast. Like little half an hour nap in the day. It's just as good as a coffee. Like went in the woods yesterday, like some sort of homeless person, and just had a little nap and felt sweet afterwards.
That's awesome. I have a hard time with naps, or even in the morning if I snooze, I start snoozing for an hour, and that's just terrible.
Yeah, just keep hitting that button.
Not good. Just gotta go to bed early and get a solid like at least 8 hours.
For sure. If it wasn't for the collarbone, were you already planning on not doing a bunch of World Cups this year anyway, or?
Yeah, that's the first. Like, my God, I've been my main goal since 2011 was to do World Cups, and that's kind of all I knew.
Yeah.
And all I was. So it was a bit of a last minute thing last year to not go to World Cups, and it was really stressful, and kind of didn't know what I was doing or who I was, you know?
Right, okay.
I don't know, it's as little as it might seem, it felt really weird for me to train in the winter or like to do things that I used to do, but for what purpose now? Like,
okay.
So I'm trying to just do more filming and content, and Crankworx is sweet and it's growing as well, and kind of have the availability to do things on the side, like projects or go on a trip, filming, things like that. That usually it was just like, oh, no, I'm racing. I'm gone. I'm booked. You know, I had 1 weekend off last summer.
Wow.
And it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And I just didn't think that World Cup, like, as much as I would love to get a podium, I just couldn't get what I wanted on paper. Like, and I feel like I can get something better out of myself.
Just focusing on a few events throughout the year, like Crankworx. Yeah.
I'll still go to like Mont Saint Anne. Like I was listening with him in Quebec, do the US Open, hit Mont Saint Anne week back to back, and then hopefully do well there. But like, I just don't want to put everything on World Cups. It's so much effort, so much money, and I just wasn't pleased with it. So.
Okay. Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I think a lot of people seem to be making that transition into just focusing on, Crankworx, for example. The prize money is obviously pretty good as well, which helps.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm a huge fan of World Cup racing. Like I still watch and I'm happy that I don't get this terrible feeling of like, oh, I wish I was there racing. Like I'm actually okay with just watching it. But yeah, I feel like I've been on my bike so much more since I don't race World Cups. It's so true. Like been riding a lot more, and I feel like it's making me a better rider. So maybe I'll go back to World Cups.
More well-rounded as well. Do you think? Because you're focusing on like the little bike stuff too.
Yeah, you kind of do a bit of everything and not just World Cup racing, and then you kind of work on your style too. Because in World Cup racing, it's like go from A to B as fast as you can. We don't care what you look. Well, we do care, but you don't have to care. And now it's like kind of fun to play around and discover new things. So
interesting. That's cool. So what's he going to take this weekend then to get top step?
on the downhill?
Yeah.
Jesus.
How's the track and all that sort of stuff? Like,
It's sweet. It's super fast. It's one line. I had to skip track walk because that was just way too busy of a day.
right.
But I rode it last year, so I couldn't remember most of it, and then it was pretty one line. Good jumps. It's a sweet track.
Yeah. I've not been up there yet. Again, like, I mean, my schedule isn't anything like your schedule, but I haven't made it up to walk the track or anything.
Oh, fair enough.
So.
That takes a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just don't have expectations on my placing with the other girls. I want to try and do better than last week. Like last week was just really safe, and that doesn't make me happy at the end of it. So I'll try to go for it a bit more. I'll work on how much energy I have today and make sure my body is holding good, because tomorrow is when it counts, and I think I know the track well. So as long as I put my mind and my body in the fitness that it needs for tomorrow, then I think I could do okay.
Awesome.
But then later we have another downhill practice for another downhill track for the race of Sundays.
I know. What's the difference between them? I'm still like super confused.
Right. So last year, Leger came with the downhill track and the air downhill, which is something we have in Rotorua and Whistler, where it's like the air downhill is self-explanatory. It's just a bunch of jumps and berms, and you're getting a lot of air, and you're trying to stay low, and it's a different kind of downhill racing, obviously, which I'm a big fan of. And the air downhill track here last year was basically brand new, mossy, like super loamy track, like tech turns in the trees, and then just berms, maybe half of a jump. So it was a bit of a shock riding it, but it was like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna have 2 downhill tracks. And this year it's like, well, we're just not gonna lie about it. It's 2 downhill tracks.
Yeah,
so we have DH1 Saturday, DH2 Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. As an athlete, what do you look forward to watching when you're here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of watching slopestyle.
Yeah.
But also speed and style tonight. I'm excited to watch that.
Should be good, yeah.
I love slalom.
Right.
I really, really like it. I'm racing it now, so it's kind of hard to watch because you kind of just walking back up to your next lap. But I've never done it in Whistler. I've only watched, and it's super exciting. It's just like
It is.
It's like close racing. I'm not a huge fan of like elbow to elbow racing, but then that's why slalom is cool, because you just each have your own tracks, but you can still see what's going on in both tracks. So I do like those.
I think it's good that it's on Saturday now, because it's such a good spectator sport.
It is,
like,
yeah.
I was pretty surprised it was on Wednesday. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this should be one of the main events.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Saturday night will be a nice, like, busy night with people watching, which is super fun. Let's just hope the athletes are still up there after racing downhill, but I'll go. You have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great Crankworx. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to chat. Say hello to Baz for me.
Cheers. I will.
And we'll catch up soon.
Sweet.
Word.
Thank you so much.
Peace. Bye. All right. Next up, we got Sam Reynolds.
Hello.
All right. Sam is competing in dual speed and style.
That's right. We
later
did
on
whip
this
off
afternoon.
last night too.
How'd you get on at whip off?
Actually, the same. I've done at every whip off the last 6 years. I made the finals, which is top 10.
Yeah.
So made the main show, but didn't make the top 3. So somewhere between 4th and 10th.
It's all right.
But yeah, that's good enough for
Yeah,
me.
man. Yeah,
It's
it's a good
just a
one.
good time, the whip off, you know.
Yeah. Super chilled. Like, did you see man of the match, Dave Hocknell?
Yes, I did. He's
Yeah.
the guy who Spider-Man flipped out the sky, right?
Yes.
I didn't see what he did. I just saw a guy falling from the sky and disappearing over the landing. I had no idea who it was, what he was doing, but
yeah,
it was
local
quite
to
a
us.
sight.
Sam,
Is he?
Yeah, Sam Hocknell. Yeah, amazing dude. That's,
Right,
he's
nice
man of the
seeing-
match for me, like, for sure.
Yeah, it was insane.
Wild.
I can't believe he's still alive. That was massive.
No,
Someone's definitely got some good shots
He's
of
got
that,
9 lives,
haven't
I think.
they? 8 now.
So tell me about Crankworx so far. Like, what are you competing in?
So I'm doing, speed and style is my main one here. I always used to do the slope style. That's how kind of I started off. But now I've calmed down a bit, and I like speed and style because it's a bit of both. You get to do some big tricks, but also you go as fast as you can down a little dual slalom track. So it's really fun, and it's cool to concentrate on something.
Yeah.
It's long old days. You have to push back to the top, and
I know that.
and the further you get through the ladder, like through the rounds, then the more tired you get, and then the quicker you have to get back to the top.
I felt like a mountain goat yesterday.
Yeah,
Going
I
up and
know.
Down that goddamn hill.
Yeah, there's no
Honestly.
lift, is there?
Calf's like Kvarik by the end of this thing, I think.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, me too. This is my main workouts of the year,
It's like
Crankworx weeks.
Step machine.
Yeah, and then not really sleeping. We've been on a bit of an RV trip as well.
Have you?
Since
Oh, right,
last
wow.
Crankworx. We were in Innsbruck last weekend, where I ended up getting second, which was wicked in the speed and style there.
Amazing.
As soon as I finished spraying the champagne, we got back in the RV, drove all the way to Barcelona, which was 14 hours through the night, and then ended up getting out the RV in the morning and going straight to the top of another rolling and doing some shows for Monster at the MotoGP.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a hectic old week.
Sounds like it.
And we've been driving around Europe. We went to Italy as well, rode a motocross track the last couple of days, and now here we are in Leger with our trusty ship, and the sleeping in that. Yeah, it's wicked.
That's sick. What motocross track did you ride?
We went to Dorno,
Okay.
motocross Dorno, but just because we've literally, it's my buddy Clemens, he's from Austria, and we kind of planned this trip months ago, mainly around the motocross track. 'Cause
Really?
we're seeing that track on Instagram and stuff, and we were like, oh man, we have to go one day. And we thought, right, this is the time. We're never going to go if it's not now. So we organised it, made it happen, and it was worth the drive, absolutely.
Really?
It was incredible.
I get told off for talking about motor on this podcast too much, so
Oh really?
yeah, we have to nip it in the bud there because I just
Okay.
go on a tangent. I'm a bit of a
Yeah, totally.
Motor
Right, we
fan.
like motocross. We'll leave it there. That's
leave
good.
it there. So dual speed and style this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Practice so far has been going pretty good.
Yeah, I qualified in 4 with a little mistake, and all top 4 of us are in within 0.2 seconds. So
It's going to be tight.
it's very tight. Yeah.
Okay.
But so it's just going to take a little mistake or a little extra special lap to knock out a good guy, kind of. So it's all to. That's why I don't really get nervous about it, because
Yeah.
there's a lot that. Yeah, when I used to do slope style, you get nervous because you are on the show. You know, it's top to bottom, it's you, and everyone can see any little tiny mistake you do. But with this, you can. The mistakes are a lot smaller, and you lose a tenth of a second or whatever, and then you kind of out and it's done, or you go through and it's more exciting. So I don't really get nervous because a lot can happen. You can go a tiny bit offline and super easily, and then so can the other guy. So it's a lot. You obviously have to have the speed, but then there's a bit of luck each way. So I don't really think about it too much until it's there.
Okay, cool. Very good, very good. And you doing downhill as well, or?
I'm thinking about doing downhill on Sunday, but to be honest,
Yeah,
I've
downhill.
just been doing practicing the last sort of 3 days, and I'm just quite want to do some laps. I haven't done any laps of the mountain yet, so I might sack that off and just do laps with the boys on Saturday instead. I'll see.
The schedule's pretty hectic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Wow.
if I was going to race, I'd have to practice tomorrow and then race on Sunday, and I quite want to just ride for fun, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That seems to be the vibe, like, people are just trying to have a bit of a chilled one.
Yeah, the
Otherwise
race
you can
for
get-
me would only be fun because it's not like I'm gonna do good there or anything. But I think I actually haven't got a chance to ride the thing, and I want to go to Morzine too, maybe tomorrow, and actually ride because I've never been there and heard it's great.
Yeah, for sure. And what you got going on after Crankworx, dude? What's happening?
The RV trip continues.
Is it? Where are you
yeah,
going?
we're going off to Nico Vink. He's made a new fest at Royal Hills. He's been building some jumps.
Of course,
And again, that's a bit of a moto track as well. But he's for the first time built fest jumps for mountain bike, and he's built a fest line for motocross guys to come and try out too. So it's really, at some fests in the past, we've made the mountain bike line, and then some moto guys have come and
like Berryman there. And
yeah, they've come and had a go on the mountain bike line. So it's not obviously not humongous for them or insane. They just really like the flow of the track, and they like doing trains with the mountain bikes. But now Nico's built a fully purpose motocross line, which I've seen a few pictures and it looks insane. There's like some big shark fins and toilet bowls that come back around and jump up through the shark fin again. And yeah, I think there's a whole new realm of sort of new motocross videos and sports that you might have started the next weekend. We're going to find out.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing it, dude.
Yeah, all the
When's that
moto
next
guys.
weekend?
It's in South France.
Okay.
So like 7 hours from here in the RV.
Sick.
But yeah, because all the moto boys are always like, man, we love the fest style.
That
Like
sort of
we don't have
style,
anything
yeah.
for us. They only have like metal ramps into a dirt landing, and they're all the same. And they said it's kind of boring. So I think everyone's pretty excited to come try this out.
That's cool, man. It kind of does need something fresh, maybe. I was chatting to someone else yesterday about like sports sometimes maxing out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I wouldn't say slopestyle has, but it gets to a point, right, where it's like, right,
Yeah, no, I do
What
know
else
what you
now? And I
mean.
think-
Yeah, you can just add another bar spin in or another
Yeah.
little... Same, yeah, I think my favourite FMX days are when they're just learning backflips and
Dude,
stuff.
totally.
I think that was when it's
Totally.
coolest. And I think that's why people like Fest again, because the bigger tricks are like a big backflip or a Superman, because that's the cutting edge of those big jumps again, and it's easy to understand, and it's cool to see just a big whip off jumps like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
It's
people
full
seem to
circle,
like
longer, slower tricks, but still huge.
Yeah, less technical. Some of the slope tricks are getting a bit hard to understand, almost, aren't they? Like you don't
Definitely hard to pronounce.
you just don't respect how difficult they are. Kind of, you don't know how much practice goes into it, and I think people just can understand a big jump, can't they?
From an athlete's perspective, then, are you kind of not glad to not have to do those sort of tricks, or?
Yeah, I did it for like 7-8 years of the scene, doing Crankworx and stuff, and it was wicked. I loved it, but doing the same stops for 8 years is pretty time. Doing the same sort of thing for 8 years is, I don't know, you sort of lose the passion for it, and I didn't lose the passion for it totally, but it's still super dangerous, and if you're not 100% into it, then there's no point being there. And I started riding downhill bikes and started going a bit faster and stuff, and even the dual speed and style was something cool and new to concentrate on.
For sure. Sick, dude. All right, well, have a good Crankworx.
Well, thank you.
Time,
You
and,
too.
I'll see you around.
Hope you enjoy the time out here, yeah.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty easy too.
Yeah.
Nice one. Cheers.
All right, man. Rock and roll. Next up on Behind the Scenes from Crankworx, we have Sam Blenkinsop, who's current king of Crankworx.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
it's going good.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was just having a quick look over some results recently. Well, just now. On paper, it's been a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Rotorua Crankworx went really well, winning the Redwoods downhill and then winning the main Crankworx downhill in there. So, it went well. And then the Enduro as well.
Yeah.
Second in the Enduro. So,
yeah.
It was a good way to start and made things easier. And I guess kind of the other guys that were doing, like Adrian, had a few hiccups, I guess. And then a few of the other guys. But then, I've just been riding my bike really and having fun. And
it's working.
And it's working out. And just not really, when I thought about it, I wasn't really thinking about doing Crankworx because my team wasn't really keen on me doing these two.
Okay.
They wanted me to do Rotorua and obviously Worcester because for Norco it's really good and the factory's just there. So
is it like a scheduling thing a little bit too? Just because it's like you've been racing on the bounce for...
Yeah, it's more of just getting injured doing something stupid and they just didn't want me doing something like that because my main focus was obviously World Cups and we wanted to be back up there which I feel like I am and have been obviously at the start of the World Cup and getting fourth and being back on the podium and stuff. So but for me, I'm just riding my bike and I don't really care about if you're riding about getting injured and stuff, you shouldn't be riding a bike in the first place. So I was just like, no, I'm coming to the races because I have fun and for me it's almost better because it's like in between, like when I'm testing, it's hard for me to go really fast. Mm-hmm. So like when I'm doing races, it's the best testing for me because I can get a different setup and I'm really pushing. So I kind of get a better idea and then I've got a better setup for the next World Cup as well. So, but it also changes with tracks as well a lot. So that's a start of things sort of thing.
Awesome start to the World Cup season as well. Like you say, 4th in Croatia, 9th?
Yeah, top 10 in Fort William. Leo Gang wasn't really where I wanted, but I feel like I rode good. Top 20 was 16th, and just I'm 6th in the overall. I keep going back each race, one place, but now the rest of the World Cups, the tracks are just for me and for our bike, and I'm stoked. I can't wait for them. So
good stuff. Good stuff. What some changes this year too, right? So new bike.
Yeah.
29er.
Yeah, we're on the 29er now, and changed a few things with like obviously training and my head a little bit. And
I really like what have you made any major things?
Just like I've never really had like a mental coach before, and I felt like that's what I kind of struggled with a little bit last year because with our sport, that's the main thing really. If your head's not in the game, then you may as well not be racing. And I just felt like I was riding good last year, but then I wasn't getting the results, and then I was getting really frustrated because of that, and then just overriding things and overthinking things, and then just talking to like my coach and that, and then working with the mental coach and stuff, and just like making things simple and just keeping your mind clear and just.
Is he coming to the races with you and stuff?
No.
Okay.
It was just like an off-season thing, just to kind of get me an idea, and then now I've kind of seen what he does, and it's just like I just kind of do my own thing, like a little bit of meditation and stuff, and just like, I feel like it helps me.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had Loic on the podcast like a while back now, but he was saying one of his major turning points was he got a mental coach.
Yeah, yeah.
And same, you know,
Yeah.
a lot more, mindfulness,
Yeah.
sitting and meditating and all that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it literally said pretty much the same thing to the T.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's the same thing, because I was, like this time last year, after this race, I went and stayed with Loic and we were talking about it, and then after that, like, I was kind of doing like things that he was saying, and I was like, shit, this shit actually works. I was like, I thought it was just like bullshit, blah, blah, you know.
It does work.
Someone just telling you something, I was like, nah, I'm not paying for someone just to tell me some rubbish that I can just, I can ride my bike, but it's not just riding your bike, you know, it's a whole lot of things.
Yeah, there's so many more things. And I spoke to Vaea this morning, and she was saying about sleep. She's really focusing on like getting good quality sleep, which again is something that like you overlook, especially with your guys' schedules.
Yeah.
Like it's flat out all the time. Like you need to make sure you're getting your 8 hours sleep and all that sort of stuff. It all comes into play, right?
Yeah, and obviously it's hard at Crankworx because there's always so much things going on, and parties and things like that. But yeah, it's a big thing. Like small percentages, like can make a massive difference in the end of the weekend. So.
Of course, yeah. So Crankworx Leger, what events are you doing here? Are you focusing on downhill?
Yeah, just the two downhills, but our main focus is on the main downhill, the Leger downhill, Les Gets, what they call it.
Les Gets.
Yeah. the main downhill, because it's pretty much like a World Cup. We've got most of the top guys here. We've got Larice and the Santa Cruz guys and Loic and and Troy. So.
Is Troy here?
Yeah.
I've only just made it over to the downhill course just this morning to have a quick look, and I saw a few people, but my head's been up my ass a little bit, sort of going up and down this hill and
looking
chatting
around
to people and stuff.
So it's pretty much like a World Cup here, and this track, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to come here, because the track's just amazing.
Sick.
Just out of the start gate, you just start in fourth, and that's it. You no more pedaling. No, all you can hear is just wind and your bike just hitting the ground. It's just. Yeah, it's crazy. I love it,
Yeah, sick. You reckon there should be a World Cup here?
Yeah, for sure, but obviously Crankworx is doing a really good job. Yeah. But if they had a World Cup, they could have it in Morzine and kind of split next weekend have the World Cup, and we've got obviously the Crankworx
that'd be good,
now.
man. Everyone's here. Yeah, that would be good.
It makes sense, but you know, Crankworx and the UCI don't really want to hold hands or work together.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. What was I going to say? You missed Whip Off obviously last night. Is that one of the reasons? Is just like trying to stay safe and not do anything stupid?
Yeah, when the crowd's around me, I get a little bit crazier and go a bit ham. So for me, I was just being a bit smart and obviously resting. And I did a bit of training. I wanted to go for a ride because I love trail riding here. It's so sick. And I just wanted to do something different, you know, because I would spend enough time on the downhill bike. I just wanted to do something different for the afternoon. And same thing. Just don't want to do something stupid. Like I think Chaos got injured.
Yeah, there was a few stupid moves. Went down last night.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, got upside down and had to press eject as well, which is pretty gnarly.
Yeah, but I'll definitely be doing Whistler one because it's just sick and don't really care. You can kind of
end of the season sort of thing as well.
Yeah, but just ride and have fun.
For sure. Any more changes to the bike? I know you recently went from Inside Knowledge, Joe Bowman, from flats to clips.
No, that was a long time ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
I was on flats last time I won a World Cup, and then...
Oh, right.
Pretty much when I started on La Pierre, so... Jesus, it was like...
Joe Bowman throwing me a curveball.
Maybe 6 years ago.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I've been on clips now. Okay. And it just tightened my riding up a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And now I try and ride flats, and I'm just a coozer, really. I can't even do it.
A coozer.
Yeah. It feels sick, but then once you come to racing, it's just the tracks now get so blown out. Yeah, I don't know how the guys are still doing it that do it. Sam Hill's the only guy really that can get away with it, I guess.
Laying it down. Speaking of Sam Hill, obviously you're pretty damn good at enduro. Any plans to do any more EWS rounds or anything like that in the future, or?
Yeah, this year I'm doing 2.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm doing La Tour in Italy, and then Finale as well, the final, just because it's kind of works and it's just like a bit of a holiday at the end of the season. Get to go and ride my trail bike, and the main focus was after last year when I was doing trail enduro and then the downhills, I just felt like it wasn't really good for my downhills. Because when you're racing enduro, you just feel like got to be smooth and kind of just like flowy and stuff, and not really on the edge. With downhill, you just got to be 100%, and you know every bloody turn, every little bump, every rock, everything. And then with enduro, you just pretty much do one run on each track, and you've got like seven tracks in a weekend or whatever, and you just pretty much everyone's blind, so you just
blind,
rusty as and just always screwing things off and not really smooth. But that was the main focus, just to try and focus on downhill. And
well, it seems to be paying off, man. Like killer start to the season, and your gamble section was insane as well. Obviously, Joe's a good friend of mine, and seems to be like a bit of a fan favourite. Your section, how was filming gamble with those guys? Yeah,
it was cool. Like as you said, like everyone keeps coming up to me and saying my section's awesome, and that was the main kind of reason after the EWS there, because it was like obviously from the photos we just seen like massive explosions of dirt, and then when Joe and obviously Mono said like, oh, we should go to Bariloche and film, and I was like, this for me, I was like, it's got to be the best place.
No brainer.
Because it was so sick, and then obviously we didn't know, because we were like, oh, maybe there's some downhill tracks there, but they talked to some guys and we seen like they had one track, and then once we got there it was like raining all week, and it was like that was the best situation really, because it was just like we could get the fast downhill stuff, and then at the end of the week it kind of dried up for all the explosions things. And the downhill track, man, I wish we could have a World Cup there. It's probably the funnest places I've ever ridden.
Really?
Just steep and rooty, but like the best kind of soil you could ever think of, like a ripped motocross track, but it's just got so much grip. And they have, because it gets so dry there, it's like because they had a volcano like
is it like
so many times, like I think 10 years ago or something, and it's like mixed in with all the like pine needles and things, so it's just so loose and
sick,
and it just chews out. And obviously that, because of that, they have to have like a watering system on the track, so they have watering when they have races there just to hold the dirt there. And when we first rode there, because it was raining all week, like anywhere you go riding normally, if it's been pissing with rain, it's going to be slippery or muddy. This place was just like fluffy black, just awesome grippy dirt, and then just got dry, and but I was stoked to go there and ride again. And then if we can get a World Cup there, it would be awesome. But
start a petition.
For sure,
get it going. Obviously from an athlete's perspective, is there any events that you really look forward to watching when you're here at Crankworx?
Pretty much everything. Like obviously I try and like chill out a bit, but I love watching on the live feed and that. I watch everything. Like Pump Track last night was sick. It's what I like about Crankworx, because there's so much going on. Like if you're not really into mountain biking, you could come here and you'd still have an awesome time. Like because there's so much things, like
do some cheese rolling.
Yeah, and like even come riding with your kids or whatever, because like most people don't really know what mountain biking or downhill is, that because like when you go to a World Cup, it's like you see one or two riders every few hours, and then there's a race, and it's cool, but it's like for the main, like for the average Joe, I guess they'd get like a little bit bored. They've just seen one section, and then they could come and watch the downhill, and they've got the slope style, and then they got the pump track if they came for the weekend or whatever, so it's just like endless things to watch, and then that's good for our sport.
It is, for sure. I'm looking forward to Duel on Saturday.
It's
I'm a bit of a Duel fan, man. Like I'm stoked that it's on Saturday, because Wednesday it was kind of not quiet, but like that should be in front of people. Duel's so good to just watch.
And I think that's probably the biggest event almost. There's so many people doing it.
It was stacked. Like they literally couldn't get enough time in the day to get everyone through qualifying. So
I'm pissed I fucking didn't enter that. But because like
just
you never know what the track's going to be like. So
true.
And I've only got my trail bike, but it seems perfect for the trail bike. So I was a bit bummed I didn't enter, but oh well, that's the way it goes.
Final question: are you going to make a response to Loic's video?
Taking the piss out of me.
I watched it this morning. It's pretty good, to be fair.
No, it's good. It's funny. It's I guess like because we kind of grew up together and we were on the team for so many years, and he's just taking my piss out.
Do you reckon you could do one?
Of a Loic riding style. He's just a solid guy, you can't really take a piss out of that guy.
Sick, dude. All right, well, have a great Crankworx. Thanks for taking time out to have a chat, and catch up with you soon.
Yeah, nice, thanks.
Nice one, dude. All right, folks, thanks a bunch for checking in and listening to another behind-the-scenes podcast here from Crankworx in Leger. Don't forget, you can keep up to date with everything that's going on here over at crankworx.com. And if you do have any guest suggestions, just fire them over. Any comments, feedback, anything, let's have it. Let's hear what you guys think. It's been a tough day out here on the hills. Wind is pretty high, which means it's pretty hard to record sound out in the open. But we're soldiering on. It's a learning experience, and it's a bunch of fun. So have a great rest of your evenings and days, and we will catch you tomorrow for episode 3. Oh, don't forget to follow us too, at the Hook It Podcast on Facebook, Instagram. Twitter's just at Hook It Products, and also don't forget to follow Crankworx too if you don't already. Those guys are on it with the social media and keeping you guys up to date with the happenings here in Leger. Peace out.